kicked out of the job, as they say. So I did.
Oh, then I'll move. That's a fancy thing. It's Gimble. Why am I closer with you? I can see the screen. Oh, sorry. Did you want your... I just like to see the screen better. Thank you.
You know you're not exposed to video?
Yes, I can do that. Yes, you're allowed to video public council meetings. Yes, it's what I've been doing for 3 years.
I think if you ask the chairman, he would say there's no video recording.
No, there is.
Yeah.
There is. There is allowed.
Okay, the meeting started. First of all, welcome to Alison Jordan, sat next to me. This is her first meeting as clerk. She's already had to hit the ground running, as she said, and kept her very busy. This also been a busy time of year, being a clerk anyway. But you're welcome, Alison. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the recording, we're fairly relaxed about councillors recording councillors, if providing you're not recording members of the public.
Straight down, don't worry.
And also, yeah, and it's just when we do the bit where it's the public speaking.
When you go below the line, I'll leave.
We may ask you to stop recording if members of the public feel they don't want to speak in front of the camera. Okay?
We don't know where it's being used, do you?
Well,
that's my argument.
I've been filming councils for the last 3 years.
I don't care what you've done yesterday or the week before, love.
Okay then.
As long as it's during the actual meeting,
exactly.
It's perfectly legal to film you as well if you're speaking in the public speaking section. But not outside of the space of this meeting.
Okay, but if anybody's got a problem with speaking in front of a camera, who's an individual, then I will have to respect their GDPR rights.
I will simply say I'm not turning the camera on anyone that speaks. I am simply on the table, okay?
Okay. Right, so our former chairman, Peter Howe. That's a good time to walk in. Obviously knew Peter as a very community-minded person who worked extremely hard for the village. Martin, do you want to come and sit somewhere there? Just be comfortable.
Sure, thank you. You've been promoted already.
Resident of this village, including being the former chairman of this council, editor of the New Bridge magazine, leading figure in the Broad Trust, Broad Society and so on, and played a key role in quite a number of big decisions that this council made in recent years. At this moment, I did say on the agenda that I would ask for a minute silence. I'm just going to ask for a few moments of quiet solitude for us to just remember our memories of Peter. So if we just be quiet, please, and we'll just think of Peter, whatever he's doing. And, okay, thank you very much. It's quite moving, please. He was my predecessor and I did know him for quite a number of years. Okay, so we have got some thoughts about how to remember Peter that's appropriate, and it's actually suggested to us by Martin. Do you want me to add that?
I'm happy for you to do it, Russell. I'm happy to say myself.
Okay, to honour his legacy and his service to the village, what we're proposing to do is to ask the village hall trustee whether they consider renaming this room from the Jubilee Room into being the Howe Room. That's something that can't be done tonight. It's something we would ask the trustee to consider, and ideally we'd probably like to roll it into this the 75th celebrations on the 25th of this month, isn't it? So if it can happen, we'd quite like to sort of have some sort of announcement on that day, because then it's sort of nicely, because I think it's appropriate, it's nicely dealt with in the reasonable timescale. So we've just got to work out the intricacies of doing that. But I think, can I just check around the room, is everybody reasonably comfortable with moving in that direction, subject to what the village hall might say?
If I can say something about this, I knew Peter quite well through the magazine, etc. I know he had a relationship with this room since I'm not even sure when we started having parish council meetings in here, but only one Monday a week.
Yeah.
I know what he loved. He loved sailing, he loved outside, he loved the Staithe. And I know we have mentioned, I did throw that on the table, but most of the councillors don't agree with renaming the Staithe. But what about renaming the small dock coming in at the side of the Staithe? Now I think that would fit really well to him because he did a lot of work getting the Staithe for the community. It's in the middle of the community. I'm a bit concerned about this being a room that's very rarely used. It's a dark room at the back of the hall. We've renamed it the Peter Howe room. Out of the way, get it done, over with. I think he deserves to be in the middle of the community and possibly with something that he would have definitely appreciated.
Well, I fully reflect what you're saying, Barry. I think honestly, as chairman, just if I can have a sort of, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but which do we move forward? Do we defer any decision, which is one option? Do we move forward on the idea, I'll ask the village hall whether they move forward on maybe this room, or thirdly, do we want to actively pursue?
Well, firstly, only half of that jetty is ours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that kind of spoils it. I'd be in favour of renaming this room. It's not dark, it's where all the council meetings happen.
What about
It is
asking
not
Alex?
once in the week.
Yeah, we have asked Alex, and I've also asked the WI who funded this room as well. And
I was about to say who originally funded it.
Yeah, so they're quite comfortable.
I'm opposed to it, to be honest, but I don't. We've spent the last few years building this up as a separate meeting room, getting it known, putting the signs up, and it just seems a shame to rename it. I think it's probably better to do separate fundraising for something different, a different project, like, funding the ramp or something in his name. But I don't know. I don't agree with renaming this room, to be honest.
Okay. So there's two views. Can I just ask a proposer and a second of all? What are the options which I just suggested?
Sorry, Chair. When Barry mentioned the second idea, I didn't quite catch where you meant on the Staithe.
The side piece where the rowing boats and the unpowered boats are allowed to moor.
Oh, the dock. We can't rename the Staithe.
Well, you could leave the main part as Granary Staithe, but just without ours, Peter Howe Dock or Peter Howe Mooring.
I think it's okay. I mean, over at the sailing club, there's a part of that named after a previous resident, Dick Dyke, who's named after the guy who brought a lot of better in there, so there is some precedent, certainly.
Okay, I just want a proposal.
I propose we rename the room.
Okay, anybody seconding that? No? Okay, so we're not going to make a decision tonight? Okay, we'll delay that. Okay, we'll do it at the next meeting then. Okay, sorry, Martin, we'll do that now.
But I think we need to take more time to consider this one, and actually Sim's idea is quite good. Why don't we start some specific project for the community in his name?
Okay, we'll do that. If we committed that, and that's an action to take on board. Okay, thank you. Right, so we've got quite a lot to cover. We're going to have quite motor now a little bit. So there are 7 of us present. So apologies will be from David Burns, who's a long way away, and Dan Clark, who's also on holiday. So two apologies. Interests declarations. Anybody got anything to declare?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to take part in item 13. I think I probably could, but I'm not going to, because one of the options would be to get some training from my previous employer, because I was previously the county officer at Norfolk Out, so I won't take part in it. So minutes. Work, people happy with the minutes and February. Okay. I think there's just one very small thing I want to do is alter in 6.2, fourth line, there's a word which says noted, which I think discussion was agreed about taking steps to remove the off track. So I think that's what we actually agreed.
Yeah, just wondering with the fact that some of these documents are being called on FOIs, etc. Do we need to resolve to agree to use agreed, or resolve to use agreed instead of using resolve?
Can we agree to use resolve?
Okay, I'm just going to say.
Confuse us on what we agree on how we are handling this and on what our prime work is.
For tonight, I suggest we use agreed, and then we'll discuss that offline at the next month.
And going forwards, I presume they're going to be issued a lot earlier.
Sorry?
They'll be issued earlier, won't they, the minutes?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so moving on then, I'll sign the minutes in a minute. Matters arising, I think most matters, everything that needs to be has been picked up in the agenda. Alison, have you got anything you want to add to we might not know about? Benches.
Yes, there was a note. I'll try and get it up on the screen.
There's something happened with benches, isn't there?
There was a note in the last meeting minutes about benches repaired, which has not been acted on. Pete said he may be able to repair rather than replace at least one of the benches, so I'll talk to him and we'll get some quotes.
So thanks to Pete for that. And something about the bridge, have they?
Yes, they've been trimmed back, I believe, by, is it either Norfolk County or North Norfolk District?
Okay, well,
did that.
that's good, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else? Okay. Right, so I'm going to now do a slightly unusual item. I'm actually going to make an apology, first time I've ever done it. But it's for good reasons. It's following a good conversation a couple of weeks back with Andrew Brackhurst, who's sat next to him. Welcome, Andrew. I think this is hopefully will clear up some misunderstandings that have arisen between us. These that certainly originally arose from me referencing a possible Section 106 contribution for Village Hall at a meeting, the Village Hall meeting actually back last July, wasn't it? Andrew's question was a valid one about whether this might adversely impact on the neighbourhood plan. This question being asked, the answer was that the neighbourhood plan, in our view, hadn't been compromised by a single phone call from the developer of Brook Park Phase 2. But the council's reaction at further querying things like collusion and so on in raising it at that particular moment was certainly not a correct response for us to have made as a council. So I reservedly apologise to Andrew and for not sorting it out at the time and not sorting this out in the following meetings. And I think this came to a head at the last meeting when Andrew was trying to read out a statement that he'd got, which he'd actually prepared for Alison. And I did cut you off rather rudely after 3 minutes, so I regret having to do that. But I'd like to make that apology to Andrew and make sure that this is actually mentioned in the meeting minutes. Okay? Thank you. Is that okay?
Well, I'm grateful for the apology that has been given, but as I made it clear in my letter to Russell, I cannot formally accept the apology until I've seen how it is recorded in the minutes.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'll reserve the position until then.
Okay, thank you. We'll have the minutes out hopefully in the next few days. So moving around the room, any other people want to raise matters that are on the agenda?
Well, I think that...
Yeah, sorry, I'll come to you up there. Okay.
Well, I think really that it should have been the outgoing clerk that did the apology.
Okay.
Because when I was at work, if I'd have done what he did, I'd have got the sack.
Okay.
And I also object to him putting my personal email up on the board for everybody to see. It was a breach of the data protection.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, so moving around, I'm going to come to Sue.
Yeah, just I think the birdseed truck's going to be discussed later. I'm completely neutral on the history behind that.
Yeah.
My only query as sort of member of the standing committee is under what authority it's being stored at the hall.
Yeah.
Because I don't like Village Hall being dragged into the dispute, and I just don't know what the agreement is with it being there. So I don't know if it's being discussed tonight or.
It will be shortly. We're going to have a trustee meeting. We probably won't have time to sort it out this evening, but it will happen in the next few days. Okay.
There's two items on the agenda. One, the multi-agency group update, which some of the members will know that I attend that online, and also the planning application, which is next door to me, you may need an opportunity to just make a comment at the time if you would like that.
Okay, Rob will lead on that. Okay, we'll come back. I think we'll let you come in when we discuss it, okay, rather than sort of jumping around.
Thank you.
As I said earlier, I hope no one's recording any of this. I know you ain't, but yeah. Down at the, what do you call it, where they put the pontoon in for the canoes, yeah? They started a load of work there, they ran out of money, now they've got the pontoon done, but they soon stopped again.
Okay.
The picket fence is up, and somebody's been cutting down a load of trees and they've been piled up against the fence.
Okay.
And I think about 3 meetings ago, we did mention about getting a broader for him to see what they're going to do next. Is there any movement on that?
Alison's got some sort of report. Let's see what I haven't read it myself. I think you've got a report which we'll hear what that's saying, and then perhaps we'll pick up on any points then, Dave, that you want picked up. Okay, lady of the camera, go ahead.
I'm just here to observe.
In what capacity?
Yeah.
It's a public meeting.
Okay.
No, sorry, I've never seen you here before. I just wondered.
It's my first time here.
Oh.
Okay. Thanks then.
Russell, sorry, could I just mention, thank you for the minute silence at the start of the meeting and for the discussion on some sort of legacy for Peter. It's much appreciated that you and worked with Peter for a long time. And my suggestion was based on something which I thought was perhaps simple and wasn't going to come at any cost to the community or the council. I think Barry's raised a really good point about whether or not Peter would appreciate a room being named after him in the back of the village hall, though we did spend a lot of time in here, and it is a room which is kind of noted on parish council minutes on a regular basis, and I'll leave that to you and to the village hall management committee to resolve. All I would say is my suggestion was based on a thought that these things either get done quickly or they don't get done at all.
Yeah.
And actually, it's just a plea to say whatever you decide to do, please don't let it get lost in the general noise of the very busy business of the council.
We are a busy council at the moment, so we just need to make sure that doesn't happen, and that holds the advantage of that particular option. But we will again try to make sure we come back either at the parish meeting later on this month, or certainly at the latest, have something sorted for the May meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, so gentleman in the corner.
I'm not sure whether this is the correct forum to raise this or not, but I must comment on the wholly inaccurate and frankly libellous Facebook posting. I am here to ask for an apology for that from the person who wrote it, who wrote it anonymously. I'm assuming they're here. If they're not, I'm quite prepared to take this further and take legal action upon it. I feel that I have been libelled in that. I am not a member of the council. I was there to assist the council and the clerk in their legal right to remove an illegally parked cart from council premises. Whilst I was there, I think I saw one other person. That person appeared to walk from one side of the I think you call it the Staithe, to another. I did not see a single other person during the time there, and nobody, including myself and no other member of the council, abused or shouted or was rude to anybody. I want to make that perfectly clear, and to somebody to write that me, who is not a member of the council, or a member of the council, shouted and abused a member of the public is not true. It is libellous putting that in writing, and I'm quite prepared to stand here and accept an apology from the person who wrote that, and that will be the end of it. If not, I will talk to my solicitors and I will take it further, because it is not fair.
Okay.
That's all I have to say on that matter.
So, Paul, did you want to come around here?
No.
I just noticed you sitting there. You see that. Okay, so that does raise some points of concern to the council. I don't think there's anybody here who can apologise on behalf of the organisation.
I'm not asking for an apology for the council at all, because you were doing, as far as I'm concerned, you were doing everything correct.
Your legal duty.
Well, we do our best as sort of unpaid councillors with a very part-time clerk. We do our best to work with partners in a constructive way. It has had some challenges in working with that organisation that we're talking about, HWRT, as I call them. We did finish an agreement, or the agreement with that organisation lapsed last year. We did ask them to move the truck following some difficulties that we experienced. We did eventually have to carefully move the truck to a safe location for it to be collected. As you say, I don't think there was, from all that I've seen, there wasn't any anger or abuse from anybody of those involved moving it. But at the same time, it is quite a highly charged atmosphere at the moment, and that, today there's been a confrontation between somebody cleaning the tables there and somebody who was on the Staithe. So it is very highly charged, the atmosphere between certain people in the village and certain people connected with the trust. We're trying to manage that down. It's it is important to be professional and try and manage down diffuse what is an increasingly difficult situation. There's been we'll talk about the improvements this will enable us to make on the Staithe. We'll talk about that later. We are in a fairly unique situation in Hoverton, and I don't know anywhere else that has so many trucks parked by the Riverside, but we do like to make sure that we can do what we want to do, particularly on the Staithe, we try to be a reasonable organisation, that sort of responsive to the needs of different people in our community, but it has been difficult to work with that particular organisation, particularly when we've only been able to make contact with them through emails. And we certainly, it's a fact that the person who's treasurer of that organisation also has a lot of power over local social media, so we are having to sort of take a lot of critical postings about what we're trying to do. Within that, there have been some exaggerations, some inaccuracies, and some provocation, probably deliberate provocation in some of those postings. But the council has tried to be professional and kept its council kept itself to itself. It has taken probably 6 or 7 lots of legal advice from solicitors and so on. So we do think we have been sound in what we've done, but we don't want to antagonise this organisation. But it is quite time consuming for us at the moment, particularly when there's sort of GDPR related things flying at us, which is going to result in us to work for at the time of year, which we could well do without it. And there are sort of various things going on behind the background, which there's quite a lot of things that they are trying to or accusing us of. And I'm quite happy to just, I don't know if you can do this, but there's the email that we got very late this afternoon from David. That sort of lists everything that we're being accused of. So just to be aware.
Can I just give an example of the absurdity of it all? A certain trustee of the group who I actually do consider as a friend. I got to know him quite well. We had coffee together, we chatted together. He's a really interesting guy. I sent him a WhatsApp asking him if he wanted his gazebo back, which is in the corner of the building there, which has been there now for 2 years. He lent it to us for a fair 2 years ago and has never taken it back. And we got that included in one of the emails about how a council had been approaching him privately and this should not be allowed. I did not approach him as a councillor, I approached him as a friend, asking him about his own property. But even that was turned around and used against us.
What's the real world now? But I think before us will keep calling it a trust, you should ask for the registration of this trust, because there is not a registration available anywhere.
Okay, I know that.
Well, no, I'm saying like you.
We do all know that. There's a lot more that we know that I'm not talking about tonight. They are an unincorporated association, so with only 2 permanent officers who I think I've just mentioned now. But I don't want to mention names. I don't want to be provocative. I was going to try and show an email on the screen which was written just about an hour ago, which sort of summarised everything that they're accusing us of, because there is quite a lot that they're accusing us of, but it's just proving a bit difficult to get rid of all the names and things. So I think we'll have to part there. But we are being accused of all sorts of things, and it is going to affect us in having to spend time fighting all those different things. But
time and money.
Yeah, but I think the council were happy to take, the majority of the council were happy to take a particular course of action because it was dragging on the situation which existed on the Staithe. We have got an opportunity to now, and this is the important thing, demonstrate that we can manage the Staithe, make it a better place. We'll come back to that later on the agenda. Yeah. Okay, I think I've spent...
Can I just ask the gentleman, which Facebook site is it you believe has been libellous? Was it the Oxford Wildlife Trust, or was it Correspondence?
I think, Barry, it's probably all of them, because they all post the same thing repeatedly. So if there are...
Yes, Realty on BB.
Doesn't they have a site? That's the Wildfowl, the Roxham Wildfowl Trust then. Okay. Them directly, okay. So many repostings.
There is a lot of postings going on, and we're just keeping to ourselves. Just so that everybody's aware, that's everything. That in that top, you see the paragraph in the big writing, just to give a fair, balanced thing. They're the things that we as a council are being accused of, but we don't agree with them, and we will have to sort of argue with people like the monitoring officer in due course, and possibly other people, as to why we think differently. So I'm just trying to give their view of things without giving away anything that's
Just one comment myself. The point for me is we will continue to be professional, we will continue to be calm, we will not have fuel or oxygen for this fire.
Yeah, I think that sums it up. I think on that we'll just park.
I don't see a problem opportunity to be at full. Did I read correctly there was an accusation of physical assault? Did I read that correctly?
That was something that happened today, which is regrettable, in that somebody who has started cleaning the tables, which, we haven't got any...
Can I just butt in there?
Yeah.
He's been cleaning these tables a lot longer than what you believe.
Okay.
He's been doing it for a long time, that old boy.
Is that old bike?
Yeah. Ken. Right?
Ken.
He's got mental health issues and that, he'll tell you that, he gets depressed and that. What I'm saying, he hasn't just started doing it, he's been doing it a long time off his own back.
I know what happened, but something happened on the stage today, which I have to say is regrettable, because I hate to see anybody have get into a fisticuffs. There's just
I think I can say has it been reported to the police?
Right, okay, so it has been reported to the police, so I can't say I think that's one. Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Chairman, sorry, I did miss something, it's important. I'd like to thank the booking clerk for coming forward and backing up what I heard on the 15th of July. So I'd just like to say thank you to you.
Okay, so I think we've now reached as far as handing over to Nigel for me and I'm sure there's some interesting things to talk about. I think we know at least what one of them is going to be, but Nigel, if you can give us a brief report update, that'd be much appreciated as ever, and we do really appreciate it. We'll continue to see you after May, because you'll still be here with one hat on, won't you, for quite a while. Yes, you'll be. Yeah. And that just, okay, this is, I shouldn't be having this conversation, I ought to be having it privately, but there's at least two people in this room who are formerly opinion councillors that we really...
Thank you. I've said what I need to say. Thank you very much.
do with, to give extra capacity to the council. I'll just leave that, we'll perhaps have a conversation offline about it, but, okay, Nigel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, one and all. Yes, it is the last time I will be addressing you as your county councillor tonight. On the 8th of May, all being well, somebody else will be taking on the mantle from that point onwards. So from your May meeting onwards, we'll know who that is. It's been a privilege to serve you in that role, and I will continue in the district council role for what might be the final 2 years of the local government structure as we now know it. So my plan to stay with the North Norfolk District Council until it is closed effectively on the 31st of March 28. So enough on that. Just to revert back to the topic that you first discussed in regards to your former chairman, Peter Howe, I think I would like just to say on my own behalf, the role that Peter has played over the years has been, I think, exemplary. I have found Peter easy to work with, a very genuine man who has the community interest at heart, and he had what I would call a mild manner in which he transacted business, but throughout that I was always aware of his commitment to the community, and the community came first. And I think in that regard we should think about how best to mark his time with the council. And whilst I understand why you might want to rename this room to mark that, I say nothing to either support or otherwise detract from that. But I do think that you should give, as has already been suggested, thought to a wider set of possibilities that would suitably mark his time. And one of the reasons for saying that is that in some ways these things can kind of set a precedent, or can sort of make you a hostage to fortune to some regard, because hopefully Hoverton Community or Parish Council or whatever it will continue for many a decade, and there will be those who have yet to fill the role who may equally you want to mark in some way, shape or form. So I think maybe a project, if I had to say something right now, I would probably say a project would be my preference, because that gives you the opportunity in the future of doing similar things to equally mark, and not box yourself into a position where you might want to vary that at some stage. So I think I don't want to say any more about that. I think that's sufficient for me. One substantive topic that I obviously have to talk about, and that is local government reorganisation. And since I was last here, we have heard from central government that it is minded and has preferred the option of setting up 3 unitary councils for the county. It's done a similar thing with Suffolk as well. So, as I have outlined to you before, those 3 unitary councils will be, as far as we know, called for this area East Norfolk Unitary Council, and then we'll have Greater Norwich Unitary Council and West Norfolk Unitary Council. I personally don't believe that it's the right decision to serve the best needs of the people of Norfolk or the businesses of Norfolk. I've made that very clear in the past. I think that the challenges that lay ahead, even before they reach the vesting day, are many and various, and they will take a lot of resolving. Not least of which will be the boundaries and who is in and who is out. You've already probably seen in the media debates around the merits of how Fakenham is going to relate to Great Yarmouth as its administration centre, how it is that Fakenham can find itself on one side of Norwich and Windham in the other side of Norwich, still in the same local authority, supposedly on the east side of Norfolk. All the balancing tricks in the world will not satisfy all the people that will be raising objections on various grounds. And those objections will have very reasonable, probably, grounds, and I don't see how you can square that particular circle. And that will be for others to obviously decide, but I do see a really difficult time ahead, and that's all before you get to vesting day and implementing that decision for the future. My hopes are that all of those are satisfactorily resolved and that we move forward and we make progress and we have a model of local government that will serve us for another 50 years. But I'm not optimistic about it, Mr. Chairman. I think that's probably all I really wanted to say tonight. I think on the wider agenda, we are into pre-election purdah, so I probably ought not to say too much more than that and let matters run until next month when I'll be reporting from the District Council only. Okay. I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
Thanks again. Any questions?
Well, someone give you an applause.
How do you time that, Jen?
Thanks again, and hope you look forward to you at the annual parish meeting on the 25th of May. It's on Saturday.
The annual parish meeting is
on the Saturday the 25th at 4 o'clock. If you can make it, you may not be able to.
Yes,
You'd also be invited to the open day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean the whole day is celebrating. The rest of the day is celebrating the fact that this building has 75 years of rich history and is moving forward with. So you're invited to come. So.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You might want to go as a councillor. We have invited Steph, but he hasn't responded after 4 minutes, so it's not like
Okay. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I want to just add, I can only stay with you until probably 8 o'clock, the latest. So if there's any topics that you want to discuss and have input from me, I wonder if you might be able to so arrange, because I can't put a stand tonight.
I'll be thinking of that in the chair in between.
Very quick question.
Yeah.
Wroxham, is that in East Norfolk?
Yeah. It is.
You have neatly identified one of the issues that has not been clarified yet. I've looked at that map and I've looked at it with some intensity, should I say, and I can't decide whether it is or not. My belief is that it is meant to be in East Norfolk.
Yeah. I think the boundary ran somewhere like that.
I believe the map is drawn with inclusive of Wroxham. If that is the case, then I think that will be a step forward to be so that the whole community of the two villages is in the same administrative council area. So, but I'm very aware that there may be challenges, many and plenty. So the point you've raised, Richard, is a very good one to illustrate. Lots of bun fights and turf warfare, I'm sure, will happen in the not too distant future.
We'll be putting barricades on. We'll just hold on. So I think the things that I'd like to do round for is neighbourhood plan, which is 11, and then possibly parking issue 16 and highway 17. I think we'll get there by 8 o'clock. So.
I will need to leave at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we'll get to where we
Can I just ask a question?
Quickly.
I've actually got two, but one of them's rather complicated and long, so I'll just ask the one. Not as a councillor sitting here, but as a resident of North Norfolk District Council. A district council that isn't able to deliver the recycling system to us that most other councils are delivering to their areas because of lack of funding or lack of resources. I was just wondering how you manage, I know you won't be able to justify it, but perhaps you could ask the question, how do you manage to justify that North Norfolk District Council has been sending out leaflets recommending solar panels to the residents, spending money and capacity on doing something like that, when there's probably 1,000 other companies in the UK who have got their main business in doing that kind of thing? Why are North Norfolk District Council concentrating on that and not bringing the recycling system they should be bringing?
Well, as you, I think, have already said, I don't have an answer to that. I'm not a member of the administration, I'm a member of the opposition. The point that you have made is one that has already been raised and put to the administration, but you will know the situation is as you describe. So I think that is one that perhaps, if it is a council, a Hoverton Community Council wide matter that you'd like an answer to, then perhaps I think the council should write to the leader of the district council and ask for clarification along the lines you just said. All I can say, and I think this is a matter of public knowledge as far as recycling is concerned, and if you are referring to the kitchen waste side of it, but because that has been raised before, there are problems well beyond North Norfolk District Council as to why the kitchen waste side of recycling isn't going to start on the scheduled date that central government wanted it to. But so I'll leave you to put whatever it was in the recycling side.
A little ironic because he went straight into recycling.
Okay. Right, move forward. So Alison can deliver her first Clerks report. We've got quite a lot on the agenda already, but there's some more interesting things and please answer.
I'll just try and go through quite quickly. I mean, first of all, it is really nice to see so many of the public turn out. So it's really a good show, and it's not always the case, I know, with parish councils and even town councils who often don't get hardly any members of the public, so it's really nice to see. And if I thought that going from a full-time to a part-time job was going to be a bit quieter and calmer, obviously that's not quite the case yet. So in the past month I've just been finding my feet in familiarising myself with the council's policies, with the website and the general admin, handing over from the previous clerk, updating various things that I need to be the contact for, which then used to be. I'm aware this isn't on the agenda, this has come up during the month, that the speed awareness message device, the SAM2 device, it's currently not working. I think Andrew knows a bit more about this, but I'll be looking to get some quotes for repairs or replacements, whatever's appropriate in the coming month. Following on, we're coming up to looking at some policies, which is something I've been doing, looking at updating some of the council policies. One of them is the reporting meetings policy, and if the councillors are happy for me to do so, I could look for quotes for suitable recording devices, so we could record the meetings ourselves, which may save other people doing so or not, but for transparency, I think it's quite a
fun idea.
Yeah, I think if we can just pause there, I don't think anybody here would think that's a bad thing, providing it's not going to be too costly.
But it's not. We've got the microphones.
Yeah, it shouldn't be in these days with technology. Yeah, so everyone's agreeing to do that. We'll move that forward certainly to the next meeting.
I think we would certainly prefer any recording to be uploaded,
including the council recording. Okay. Right.
I was just going to add to something about Pete, as I know some people wanted a very brief update. Obviously this time of year he's busy mowing, he's been looking up the flower beds that he's responsible for and liaising with the volunteers on the others. There's an area of land he's cleared and he said he would like to cover with wildflower seeds. I don't do an issue with this, he's got some nice ideas. If we let him run with that.
Do you know which area it is?
Yes, Pocket Park, I think it is between, he's already cleared some shrubbery and it's looking a bit rough. But behind where the tourist information buildings are around there.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we nodded to what you're asking for some support on, and just I think we all have to say, Alison, so grateful you're sticking with us and hit the ground running, but galloping along, it's been a lot to cover, and you've done admirably well to get on top of so much.
Thank you.
So thanks also. On top of all we've done, we're now sort of updating things like policies. So there's 3 policies which I don't think any of them are controversial because 2 of them are following national guidance and the third one sort of is unchanging of something we had already. But if you can just take us through any things that you feel you want to highlight on top of having already circulated around to us.
This is based on a model policy by the SLCC, that's Society for Local Council Clerks, for vacancies and co-options. It's really just spells out what has to be done by law, so it's what everybody would have to do, so there's nothing personal about the steps that you have to go through when you report that there is a vacancy, that a councillor has stepped down. It's reported to the returning officer. It just goes through those steps, what we should do, and then it outlines what can qualify or disqualify someone from standing as a councillor. Again, this is set out in law. This is not our parish council's decisions. It's just spelling out what they need to do. Basically, someone who's over 18 is a British citizen and lives in the parish. It's a simple, quick answer there. And then some personal attributes, and like a role description, which is more what the council would like to see. So this is the personalised bit, which I haven't really changed from the previous one. If you do want to change it, I guess now is the time to say.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything unreasonable there, and it looks at what's commonly called the Nolan principles as well, about integrity.
The only thing I noticed, there was still a few HPCs.
There's a parish or town council, for example, if you take a community council.
Yes,
other than that, I think the content is fine.
I thought they had to live within 3 miles of the parish.
Yes, yeah.
We talked about the Nolan principles.
Yeah.
But isn't there 7 of them? And again, we're going down to.
I don't know if it's spelled out. Oh, here they are. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
you've got it.
down. Yeah, so there was, I was just trying to summarise really quickly to get.
Okay, that's good. Thank
These
you.
are the Nolan principles here.
Okay.
And then it goes on and talks about the procedure, about the voting procedure, which is quite specific, and it might be slightly different from how you vote on other issues. If there's more than one person, for example, being co-opted. But otherwise, if it's not a co-option, of course, it's an election, so it's different.
I think Alison, we're broadly comfortable with that, and we all had time to read it offline anyway, or something. Okay. So complaints policy?
So just for reference, how many open vacancies do we have?
At the moment we have, so we could have 12, and at the moment we've got 9, so we've got 3 vacancies at the present time.
We can still co-opt.
So we can co-opt. Well, yeah, there's a little, we can co-opt because I think we can co-opt at least 1 or 2 more because we had recent resignations, but we'd have to just inform the monitoring officer what we were doing before we did it.
Yeah, I informed her about the last one, and the date was up yesterday.
Okay, so now we can co-opt. You have to sort of go through that process.
So can I put that to
Yeah, please. What do you want to Yeah, so I think we universally agree to that. Thank you. Thank you, Alison.
Where are we? So the next one is complaints and code of practice for handling complaints. I think you already had something, but it was quite old. It was dated like 10 years ago, so it is worth updating really. Again, I look at model policies and information from, in this case, from NALC, the National Association of Local Councils. And this is just explains for anyone, so it'll be on the website of course, how to go ahead making a formal complaint, approaching the clerk or the chairman, and what stages needs to be done. So this is members of the public complaining about something that they feel the council has not done as they feel they should do. And if you're not happy with the outcome of the complaint, what to do next. And finally, if it's still not unhappy, the person can appeal to local government on so, and complaints against the councillors are slightly different rather than against the council, so that would go straight to the monitoring officer and it's not dealt.
Yeah, that may have changed from our original version of the document, but that is correct, it would go to the monitoring officer. Thank you very much. So what does it say? Adopt 2026 revised review 2026.
So that was really given it 3 years before I should read again.
A couple of questions on it. Could we head it up complaints?
Yes.
And we're talking all the way through as responding within 3 working days. Can we make that 7, or is 3 to
I think we can actually. I don't think there's anything by
I'm
law.
thinking about holidays or
Yes.
something like that, other than you do then
It
go
says
on to
working
days.
I think it says working days, and if the clerk is on leave, then it would be from when the clerk returns, it's something like that. I'm
I'd
happy
still like
to
it to be a
extend it to
smidge
longer.
longer because
Yeah.
With more
I
time.
don't think legally there's a requirement for E3, and we could be reasonable and say 5 working
Yeah.
days.
Fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, subject
Yeah,
to
is
change.
everybody happy with that change and then adopt that policy?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And the third and final one for today. So it's good we're getting them updated, Alison.
Yeah.
We have a little programme of getting them all sorted over the rest of this year, I guess.
This one is reporting of community council meetings. Again, you had something, but I think it was just worth going over it again because it's been a topic of discussion recently. But this isn't actually very different to what you had. I think I just changed where it said parish to community council. So it's actually pretty much the same as what you had before. And highlights the legislation about filming, which of course anyone
one
can do.
comment on para 1-2 there.
Yeah.
You're saying recording them is invited to. Should it not shall inform putting the
Well, they
onus
don't
on them?
have to.
Do they not?
No, they can just turn up. But I mean, if they were to let me know, we can make sure that it's accommodated. That I think that's really would be perhaps a slightly larger council. You might get some newspaper people turning up with something more than just a mobile phone. You need to make room. There isn't so much.
I would like members of the public to know
Yeah.
when the meeting is being filmed, if possible, within, as long as
I think it's only fair, isn't it?
I think it's only fair, yeah.
But I think we can short circuit this or simplify it by recording it ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if everyone's seen that.
And then is a retention issue about us recording it?
Well, normally, the recordings we kept for a month until the minutes are signed and approved, and then it's not needed anymore because the recording would be for
I'd
minutes.
say maybe a month isn't long enough, bearing in mind we were quoted probably 6 months recently after a meeting, so maybe something like 6 months.
Would we have to make the recordings available to the public?
Under a freedom of information
Well,
request, probably.
At least under that, yes, but in general, we have to
Some
make
councils
Yeah,
do
they
put the
do.
recordings on. In fact, some live stream meetings and all that.
then you can't really control it.
Yeah, I'd say
We are quoted out of context.
I'd say once the minutes have been of the previous meeting have been adopted at the next meeting, they then become the sort of legal record of what.
But we know we've been recorded in the past and someone's chucked comments out back at us.
Well, maybe
And we
one.
had no-
Okay, but I don't think there's anything wrong with recording it, but keeping it back 1 month. So we have like a,
Probably just
two generations.
with everyone's argument, you need to keep it longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just in
saying.
case somebody came back later and said, we've done this in the meeting, because we don't document it.
Well, it's not a problem. I mean, as I said, some councils have recordings of the last, year's meetings on the website. So I don't see there's any problem with keeping more if we
Most
logistically do it.
modern recording, you can transcribe straight from the recording to a text file. So that's probably retention.
Okay, so we'll do a bit more keeping of recordings.
So,
Do we
Are
need
we
to signal or sign at each meeting that there will be a recording?
Well, we're going to do.
Should we have a sign saying
Oh yeah,
that recording
yeah.
is
We'll
in
put, I
operation?
think maybe we already put a sign which says there may be recording the meeting, so we could probably amend that sign up there.
That won't be on there though.
Yeah.
we could make some bit bigger.
But make something a bit bigger to show.
So can I just check?
Maybe make it a community council.
I'll just make it
Yes.
Right, so I just want to move on a little bit. Does anybody have any further concerns or issues, and are we all happy to adopt that policy as well unanimously? Thank you very much.
Yes.
And
Can I
thank you.
just clarify, we're adopting it, keeping the recording for how long?
Well, you've got 3 months recorded and then transcript for a year.
Yeah, it works. As long as the transcript isn't its
Okay.
It's AI, and do it with it.
Right, so actually now, okay, so we've got 3 things which I wanted Nigel to hear. Richard, and the most important one, I think, of those 3 things is your next one, which is the neighbourhood plan.
Okay.
And being into the consultation stage.
We are at the Regulation 14 consultation stage, and that started from the 31st of March. It runs through to the 1st of June, and this has been delivered to every household in Hoverton. So that's the actual document which has gone out to each household, and then from that it gives ways in which they can comment, either through the online and find out further information online, whereby there should and there is all the background information to what is a draft plan. So the draft plan, and this is the 11th version of the plan, and it's not going to be the last one probably, will be commented on by any resident that wants to do so. You can find the background information to it on the website, and that also includes the policies, the design codes, the green spaces code, the bio soil stuff and all that.
Diversity.
I always have the meaning of diversity. So like the soil. Anyway. So there's various information points for that, and obviously our aim is to ensure that everybody in the parish has got the opportunity to comment on this. In addition to that, there are landowners that have been written to, directing them to the information about this, and asking them or inviting them to comment. And there's also a set of statutory organisations that have all been written to, and that has been directed through the kind services of North Norfolk District Council. In addition to that, our consultation period is actually more like 9 weeks, whereas the statutory responsibility is to have a 6-week period of consultation. So we're a little bit wider on that, and that's for very good reasons. I think the main reason is to ensure that we've got everything spot on. Everyone's got the access to it, and everyone's heard of it about this. So there is a sort of period of time or a target time which the consultation group has been working through to ensure that all these are put out, obviously within the period, actually within 6 weeks, or beyond more than 6 weeks, and all of them went out, I think, by the 2nd of April. So the consultation period is the 31st of March to the 1st of June. If anybody would like to access the neighbourhood plan in the physical sense, there is neighbourhood plan that's been deposited at the Roxham Library. Maybe we should change that name one day. The Roxham Library, Larry's Pizza, Kelvin from Abbott's has been very supportive, and there is a neighbourhood plan. You can go into Abbott's, you can sit down, you can read the plan and what have you from there, and there's also copies of it in the village hall here. We've got we need more paper surveys to be available, and these will be distributed to those outlets. Last week I went to see some of them, and nobody has been in yet to have a look. But online, it's a different matter. We've been getting quite a lot of responses. Can you confirm that?
Yes, I have a few by email over the weekend.
And the other thing, which is a slightly pressing issue, is that we have not got we've got the access through the website, but have we got the dedicated email address, or is it all coming through to you, Alison?
I got the information today how to set it up, so
Okay.
I need to do that.
As soon as we've got that, we're going to produce some posters with the consultation team just to reinforce all this and get them out by the 20th. And then I think we've been doing our as much as we can. If anybody's observed any gaps or any issues with this, can you please speak up and let us know, because that's how we, develop our efficiency and effectiveness.
Can I say, Richard, brilliant job done in a very tight time scale, so thank you for all you've done. And also, and I've made this of the effort, certainly Danny, James, thank you for your sterling work and delivering. So I think we've got everybody, and Paul. Got everybody.
Paul the postman.
Yeah.
Paul the post.
Yeah. I think we captured.
And Debs.
Yeah, and people who aren't here. I think we've done it okay. We've certainly done the best. So thank you for everybody. But we did also consult with businesses as well as landowners, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah. All the businesses have been consulted with as much as I think all the businesses have at least been given this.
Yeah.
So all the businesses should know.
Yeah.
And you weren't leafleted. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great to know. Thanks, Greg, for telling us.
Thanks, Greg. I'll give you one.
Okay. And that's good that work's been done. Both sides.
Yeah, has anybody else not received one of these? Okay.
Was it only applied to Hoverton?
Yes.
But that's the other thing. No, it's not. If we got responses from outside the village, then we would take them on board. But we are recording where people have come from. So if somebody else, there could be some people with an interest in the village, perhaps they work here or whatever. So we aren't drawing down the barrier at the village boundary. We will take into account views expressed by people.
I too agree.
Okay.
I think, can we move on then?
Yeah.
Any questions? Any observations? Please? No? Okay.
All I can say is you've had your first phone call from me, and I'm sure we'll have another phone call.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It is an opportunity now to actually, comment, not necessarily just comment. You're commenting, but if there are things which you feel are really lacking from what's been identified within this, then let's do it. It's a community plan, it's a neighbourhood plan, and what it will mean is that over the next 15 years, developments that happen around here need to be aligned as much as and checked through in relation to the neighbourhood plan as well, so it can stop or contribute towards at least a balanced development and so forth.
Okay, I'm going to stop there if that came. Well, there's a couple of other items I want to get done before Nigel disappears at 8. So I think they are probably fairly simple to deal with items, but parking issues. I think Rob, or Andrew, you've taken a bit of a lead on what we've had problems raised with us by local people.
Yeah, it's parking on the pavements as you come over the bridge into the town. We both contacted Highways. Highways responded they need to repaint the yellow lines before they can enforce the parking. But they have done it some
As a call.
Yeah, got some on there.
So the yellow lines, they're not part
No, but they're saying they can't enforce it until they've painted their yellow lines. So, but at least we're doing, we are chasing up as best we can.
So I'll follow up that one again.
What about
if you speak to them, can you ask them to use better paint than on the yellow box?
Yeah. And we had something raised about Grange Close.
Which was parking in the turning circle at the end of the Crosby
So can we either just go back to that person and just say this is how you progress getting yellow lines put down? Can you take it out? Okay, thank you. Great, thank you. That's one thing.
Just to add, Mr. Chairman, if I may, of course, pavement parking is a national government initiative now, so we may have a stronger set of rules or laws that will dictate where people can and can't park as far as patrons are concerned.
I did raise, because there was somebody parked on the pavement, completely blocking it.
Particular issues
So I think both highways and the police will no doubt respond to that new legislation when that comes out.
It is already illegal to park on a pavement behind communal lights.
It is, but
only if chief constables choose to enforce the law. I've been through that one already.
There was an issue, there was somebody parked completely blocking the pavement, and I raised it with the local police, and they have to come out as the police, witness it and record it as an obstruction, it's not a parking offence. And obviously they're there for 5 minutes getting some chips, so by the time the police concerned, it's not anything. Let's move on from that. If we could park that one and go on to item 17 on the agenda about highways. That's simply to publicise, will publicise the fact there is a way of reporting these issues to get a timely response. Well, you may or may not.
There is. I reported a manhole covering the road opposite St John's School. It had been reported about a week, 2 weeks earlier, but it still took another month before anything was done. I'm wondering whether there is a system that you can then chase up again other than constantly reporting the same issue.
I think it does say when you report it, it can take up to 6 to 8 weeks to fix. I know it's not great, because I've reported a few in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, anything
As far as I'm aware, the county hall, if you're reporting it on the highways website,
yes.
There is a facility there that enables you to see whether that has been reported before, and so that will give you an idea about how many reports that will be.
Okay. It just came back and say this has been reported before, we're closing yours.
And of course, I would always encourage people to make sure they note the records that they report, because if that record's not there, will be the chaser, if you enable you to chase progress.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask about the, because I don't know whether to report it to the highways or not. You know the roundabout on Stalham Road with Warning Road West. About 8 weeks ago, it must have been 8 weeks ago, there was a horrible accident where a guy just went straight over from Warning Road and smashed into the wall.
Just missed me, yeah.
No, yeah. That wall is a lovely curved, probably 80-year-old brick wall, and the bricks on it have been quite severely damaged. Whose responsibility is that? Is that now a highways responsibility, or is it the owners of the what they call the oil gas people? Wellwise, or is it the person that smashed into the wall?
I would say, and I'm not. I would say that in principle, whoever caused the accident, our insurance should cover the repair.
Having suffered a car go through my wall, I reported it on my household policy, who subrogated it through to the auto.
So, I mean, if it was a motor accident that caused it, then the vehicle insurance should normally cover the remediation of any damage.
But it'd be started by the company's own policy, I believe.
Well,
that's a big horseshoe.
All I would say is the start position is that. Whose property it is, I don't know, because it could be highways or it could be wellways.
How easy it is.
It's a lovely wall.
It was. Or it was.
Okay. Did you want to do something else? Because I quite like, got back 5-6 minutes of Nigel left. I quite like to go back to a thing that Dennis was most interested in. And sorry, Alice, I'm going to sort of bring you back to this as well. So, who went to the Anglia Water multiple agency meeting? Was that you or Alison's got some notes on it, I think. And Dennis was there.
I was there and Nigel was on.
Nigel was there. So you want to lead off then as well? Perhaps I'll just get Alison to get the notes up if you can.
Oh, you have got an update.
Yeah, we have got an update, but have we got an update on the MAG group on agenda item
Sorry, it's on back up.
11B? So I don't know which Who's got that date? We might let Dennis have the floor to say.
Well, I can only really talk about my end, sort of outside number 81 Granary Coast and outside my end. I've not been able to look at the plans. I've asked for them on 3 occasions. It's been refused. Nigel can see them, and my MP can see them. And at the last meeting, which was the third one from when I first asked to see the plans of what they want to do outside number 81, they said it was imminent, and I was hoping to get something today from that. But
so sorry to hear this again, Dennis. I'm just looking at Martin, probably in Martin's time as chairman, those issues, you were facing those issues then, weren't you? And still face them.
Yeah. I mean, all I want to do is see what they're going to do, whether in my mind it will work or not, or they're going to waste money.
So what can we do?
Well, I can sort of add a little bit to what Dennis has said. I haven't seen the proposal for it, and the reason for that is that it hasn't yet been passed off by the engineers. So, and I think that's what was explained at the last meeting, was that wouldn't be circulated until it had been, if you like, passed off by the appropriate engineers. That was a definite engineering solution. So that's the reason. That's the reason for that. So I haven't seen it, and I wouldn't even ask to see it actually until it had been signed off, because it could change for all sorts of reasons. So, but more widely, I can say that over the months of both December and January, representatives from the multi-agency group have conducted, I've been with them when we've conducted a site visit around the known flooding points in Hoverton, and that has revealed a number of shortfalls as far as information is concerned about where does this drain connect to. Does it drain into the river? Does it drain into a soakaway? Does it connect in some other way to a point of drainage? So there's quite a bit of investigation work that needs to be done where there is an absence of clear information and no engineering drawings. I think that all started actually with the work that the Broads Authority was doing down by the bottom end of Roy's car park, when they discovered an outfall or two there that they were not aware of, and then it all sort of triggered off. Where does that come from, and what sort of drainage network does that serve? So, with the exception of Grange Close, there are no other plans for remedial engineering work to be done, but that's all going to be subject to the outcome of surveys, and there'll be several £1,000s worth of surveys to be carried out to determine where the various drainage runs are, and how serviceable, how much their capacity to drain has been affected over recent years.
Okay. Thanks. No,
So that will roll on for quite some
and
time.
I'm so pleased that you're on top of it, and we as a council probably need to get more up to speed on that. But Dennis, I think that's about as much as we can do.
Yeah, there was another quite valid point that actually opened my eyes, and that was at Stalham, in that Anglia Water Services are saying that they cannot cope with the developments into their sewage treatment works there. Now you may well say, why is that affecting us in Hoverton? You know I'm fisherman, you know I've worked offshore and I understand waterways. The treatment works at Horning has been one of the worst in the county, discharging sewage, and you have to bear in mind that when we have these flood tides, and a lot of people are seeing the water coming up, that sewage and stuff going in will come up right into this village. And there's other comments regarding the planning applications elsewhere around the county that the sewage treatment works cannot cope with what's going on.
That you do see that as a regular point being made in all sorts of communities around here, such as Plumstead and so on. So, that's when we got through the last winter quite luckily without too much problems. But this winter could be back to what it was a couple of years ago, I guess.
If anybody's not seen that programme on Channel 4 called Dirty Business,
yeah, open your eyes, isn't it?
Well, I knew 75% of that, what was going on before it came on, but there's one or two things there.
I think Nigel can go now, if it's not his parade.
Well, I just need to add a little bit to what Dennis has said, because of Stalham, the issue isn't the water recycling capacity, water recycling centre capacity, it's the network capacity. And in Hoverton here, we too have a network capacity problem, and that's what's the reason for why the new pipeline has been a prerequisite to any major future development. And I think a similar solution will have to come forward as far as Stalham is concerned. If you don't want to know about Stalham, this is Hoverton. You've got to be a little bit careful in drawing comparisons, because the situations are not quite the same. But we know that Anglia Water is under a great deal of pressure. I ought to say that I am on the case of the District Council being inclined to grant planning permission, knowing full well and having in hand an objection from Anglia Water. And they've even raised the issue, and for me it's a splitting hairs issue, where they say, well, Anglia Water for a planning application is not a statutory consultee. It's only a statutory consultee for a local plan. So that's at the sort of strategic level. For me, that does not wash. That if there is a substantive reason why Anglia Water is objecting, then that should not be affected by statute or not. And so there is a tendency. I've noticed also that it's happening in West Norfolk. They've granted not big applications, but they have granted applications of a dozen or more homes on the basis of knowing full well that there is a holding objection from Anglia Water. The situation at Stalham, I will just mention this because again there's another factor. Stalham has a development up on the Old Yarmouth Road, which is over 100 dwellings, and they are in course of construction at the moment. And we don't even know what the practical implications in terms of foul water discharge are until those properties are built out and are in use. So the problems they have with regard to network flooding is, is very tangible and is very relevant. And so to start thinking about granting further permissions without knowing that, for me, is unthinkable. But anyway, that is the kind of thing that's going on, unfortunately.
Yeah, that does raise concerns for this village as well in that case. Okay, thank you.
So,
on
that point, I
think
I leave you and
there's no 8 o'clock. No, I like to sort of keep I finish by 9 if we can. So let's move on a bit. The AGM.
Good night. See you later. See you later.
Thank you very much. The AGM and that's on it's part of the celebrations, and residents are invited to the parish meeting for that day. But also
there may be free cakes still available.
Yeah, but mainly come along because it is celebrating all that the village halls achieved over 75 years and will continue to achieve. So that's that. Councillor co-option, we've sadly lost Victoria Henson, which is quite heartbreaking due to competing work commitments and so on. We're down to 9 councillors with 3 vacancies. We have we do want to fill those vacancies, so the usual plea is that we want to insist in stepping up the council. Please do so, but we will also, when Alison gets her feet on the desk, sort of be doing other more proactive things to advertise the fact we have got these vacancies. So I think that's all we can say for tonight. Training, Alison's got a couple of options for whole council training, which we all agreed is long overdue. I'm going to keep quiet, as I said at the beginning, because of my possible conflicting interest, but I'd like you to select one of the options that Alison will take you through.
Let's see. Okay, so this was what I received from Norfolk Parish Training and Support, which is quite thorough. An evening session. You choose which of these, it's a maximum 6 out of these topics we want to cover, so we should have a discussion beforehand as well that we want to look at. And the price of that is £370, but it's reduced as a discount if we subscribe to them.
Which we do.
We do. I wasn't sure if we could do or not at the moment.
Russell, do you remember which one we had before? We had somebody come in.
Well, there's a useless presenter called Russell Reed tried to do it. It's internet.
No.
And that was appalling. It was one of the worst evenings of my council life, the fact that that's the one evening when the internet. So I have myself delivered this before, but I think I'm well out of date now. So.
So that was.
That's a long one.
I think maybe the best thing to do is if we agree with these are sort of core training that he wants to do, or needs to do, and then which one? We had another
Could I have one as well, please?
Yeah, I've been here.
Thank you.
Right, I'll just have to read
Yeah, so there's two, there's another option.
So some of this only came through today, or after I finished work last week. But there was another option, £25 per councillor, minimum £100. Well, there are more of us than before, and it can be online or in person, but I do think in person.
It's definitely better.
It's definitely better. This is from Norfolk ALC, but they don't list exactly. I can find out a bit more what was involved in the content. I expect it to be very similar to the other major source.
I don't know he was useless.
Yeah. The one I did was useless.
No, I know that, but I think he was as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm slightly confused by this. Sorry, I shouldn't be butting in, but I'm quite confused. They look as if they've always put 2 bites of the cherry, because like a minute ago we had one that was 375, and now we've got another one, another quote.
Well, that's Norfolk
PTS. I was going to say
and this
PTS.
is Norfolk ALC, so this is the different options. But there's not as much information there, but I imagine the basic course will be very similar. And the third one was NFP workshops, but they don't do a whole council. And all they can suggest is if one of you went to one of their existing courses and then reported back to the rest of us, which isn't really fixed.
That doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't work. So that's the 3 offers. So it's really whether you want to go with the ALC or
The PTS was face to face.
PTS.
Yes.
I think it was agency. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
It was either for this or it was for the trustee if they were, but not very good at all.
No.
Yeah.
The price is going to work out very similar with the discounts if everybody goes.
Okay. I shouldn't be thinking about any PTS. If you got Beauty King, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's good. If you got North depending who you get, then they'll probably be fine. But I don't need any PTS together.
If I am PTS, yeah.
So this one.
Can we select which of those we want?
Yeah, 6 of those they will cover. So should we have to do it now, or do you want to do that?
We'll have to get the same 6, so can we all attend the set?
It'll be the same 6.
I think I'll do the same, yes.
Yeah. Could you send those out?
I will.
That's not a poll. We did a poll on WhatsApp, but we could probably sort that. So
Yeah, we can decide that.
So we'll get there, but it's looking like NPTS probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's 2.5 hours.
Okay. So, yeah, so that's training, Riverside Park, Alison, sorry to keep numbering you with this, but there's something you've got an update on the work that Broad's Authority is doing, which will be interesting today in particular. Or I can go on to something else. If you want.
Yeah, the Broads Authority sent an update, which is there. Okay. So again, this just came through today. We know some of the work they've done, so everybody's seen it, haven't they, with the pontoon, which is blue, and this is just other things. There we saw there's some plants, like water plants, obviously they're growing.
But they put those court islands in without taking the piling out, which they were supposed to do.
Is that going to be something that you want to see about them, Barry?
Well, it might be nice to ask if they originally planned to take that piling out and only waiting for the water level to go down. So why not now?
Okay, you got that, Alison?
Yeah, piling was supposed to go down.
And my comment on the canoe launch platform, it looks very, very practical, but it's horrendous in nature. Don't think it fits in particularly well.
Okay.
What colour is it?
It's stainless steel.
It's got a stainless steel bridge, and the actual thing is like a very, very light grey.
Yeah, it's like recycled, like grey plastic.
Yeah.
But it does look safe.
It does look better than a little bay for the canoe and the slide seat to go over.
So it looks very safe.
Well, yeah.
You've got to then look at safety over fit, haven't you? And that looks like a very safe thing. I haven't taken mine out.
I'm going to invite Dave. Was there any other comments?
Yeah, where they've, I don't know who's done it, somebody's cut a load of twigs off branches, like coppicing they call it, don't they? And it's just piled up against the fences. Is that the Broad Authority or somebody else? I don't know.
Which fences is it? Is it Riverside Park or is it Pocket Park?
Riverside Park, and it's the one along the walkway. So if you walk down and go to the right, it's that one there. Not go on the road that takes you around under the viaduct, that bit. There's two big lumps of it there. I don't know, somebody's left it there.
Broad's Authority's done it. If it is Pete, I think we've known about it. So I think as part of the following up, if Alison, you could just check on that, what the files of Wood are doing.
Well, we had it before over there, and that was on by the railway line.
Yes, further around, yeah.
And the contractors which the Anglia drains use actually come on and they take it all down and they leave it there. That's what they did a couple of years ago anyway.
Oh, well, perhaps it was in there. I don't know, but it just looks an eyesore. It's like all the fencing, it's not.
Yeah. It's chestnut fencing.
They're so broad, they started it and didn't finish
I think
it.
we've got to know that then.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It'll be interesting how they actually done this April 2026 work.
Planned work, so...
Signage I haven't really seen.
That would be nice if we got involved with the signage.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about actually putting in details where the station is and all that, just to make it all connected.
Totally valid.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fencing
and also the colour of the signage, you know, the way it's
the sign is
included in the neighbourhood plan.
Size, brackets, colour design is what we've got.
Yeah.
So who wants to be the lead person to take the pressure of Alison on this one? And is it, I'm looking at several of you, three, one, two, three would do that. I know, let's look at you.
Richard and I think.
Yeah, so Richard
I volunteered Richard and me.
Okay, if you two could pick up when you get the minutes notes, which I think that's something pretty good. If you could then pick up with the Board's Authority on those points and make yourself available to meet them on the
we need the contact details, obviously.
He did mention in the email that he's going to see if he can come or at least provide another report for the parish meetings.
Brilliant.
So there may be a
All come along.
representation there.
That'd be really good if they could. If you can encourage that as well.
Yeah.
But if we could you know, this is quite important to the village, really. And,
Yes,
But it's part of the village, isn't it?
That's point
Yeah.
well about the signage in 2027, that's a bit late, isn't it?
26.
That's next week.
If they're doing some
I think Robbie Young needs to be involved with this as well from North Norfolk District Council Economic Development. He was very helpful in consultation relating to the maintenance plan as well.
Okay, I think that's been a useful discussion. Are we done with that one?
Where was Staines?
I would assume it was on the wooden area that the band used to play.
Okay, which is there on the police. Yeah, very good. Okay.
So that's 14A.
Oh, just sorry, just make a little comment about that. There was a complaint about that on Facebook. It was a canoeist who couldn't get his canoe there because the West car park was closed. That's an interesting point. It means really that area is very, very difficult to use when Roy's is closed and the car park is closed. So
What, the one with the barriers?
It must have been, he couldn't get his car.
That's open about 5:30 in the morning, shuts about 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, it might have been over the Easter bank holiday when Roy's was closed.
Yeah, shut.
It was Easter
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Roy's wasn't open.
that's right.
On Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
So there was no access to...
And it shut Christmas Day because they're not open Christmas Day, no.
So, can we draw a line under Riverside Park?
Yep.
And now we want the next item on the agenda that's saying Staithe working group, which we're hoping dynamic, wonderful things are happening very soon there, and then perhaps group it with the next item, which is about signage and
Yes.
etc.
Right, so yeah, update from the group. We reported back at the last meeting of various things. So currently we've got 2 companies lined up to give us a quote for the removal of the flower bed. Barry's currently agreed that it could be deposited here in Pete's but we now need to decide how much of it do we move, because you know, I could get a quote for the whole lot coming out. There's some of it's going to have to come back when we go and put new flower beds in. Suggestion is that we put the flower beds in the area that currently floods.
Yeah.
And young Dave came up with an idea of those huge round drainage things to use as flower beds.
Yeah.
Cover that up, stop people gathering there or trying to sit there and eat their food, which
Yeah.
might not be overly pleasant at certain times of the
Yeah.
year. So, can we get an agreed budget and or idea of what we want there?
So I think that all sounds good. We all want to make progress.
Then we
soon.
can move on with getting
But
quotes.
what sort of budget do you think? Because we have got, you know, the ability to. We've got projects,
Yeah.
contingencies for projects. If you just say, you know, 500, 1,000, 1,500, whatever it is, if you've got an idea, then we will provisionally set aside that sum from our projects.
Well, I guess it's going to depend on how much earth we move and what kind of flower bed look that we want for the new bit. So, I don't know, if we went for 1,500 or £2,000 now and say, okay, we've only spent X, obviously be coming back to the council to get sign off each and every time. But if we said £2,000 now,
okay, if that's what you're saying,
and then if we don't spend it all, great, it goes back. If we need additional, then
so councillors, is everyone comfortable with that sort of figure and that sort of approach? I'm getting nods around the room, and nobody sort of at this moment saying that's not.
Yeah, well, they have to put a maximum spend on it, don't they?
Yeah, just as an liability.
I'll tell you what, I'll find out tomorrow how much them concrete rings are.
Thank you.
I imagine they come that size, or whatever size,
Are
yeah?
you talking about the pipe work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just turn it on this side, you've got the dirt there, you ain't recording this, are you?
They weren't wrong.
Of course I am. I've been recording all the evening.
No, not me, that's what I said, I don't want my voice coming out on there.
I'll see what I can do.
No, that's what I did say.
You've got to stop talking then.
You've got no chance.
Is this still
Right, no, see what I'm saying? If I get a price and I'll get it over to Andrew.
The one thing we can't forget though is you've got to get the precinct's permission for it as well.
For what?
To go onto the land.
No, that bit in the corner, his house.
Yeah, that's precinct, half its precinct back there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, so if you take the line of the dyke,
If you go down the middle of the dike to that broken panel,
Yeah.
to that post, as far as I know, everything on the right hand side of that is precinct.
Right, so if we put them on our land, and don't put them on the precinct land,
well then you're okay.
you're okay.
And talking about that broken panel, that apparently was done by the Hotel Roxham, so we need to get them to come and rejig that, because it does look kind of
Perhaps you can get her to fix her car then with a deer run into it.
Was it a deer?
Yeah, she a deer, didn't she, somewhere?
We've got, obviously...
Yeah, you said it.
With the truck now gone, we need to get our signs up pretty quickly. I've done some research of the institutions that can help wildlife. So we need to get those signs produced very quickly.
So we need to contact
names
signs
and
very
numbers.
quickly and names and numbers.
Indeed. Got 6 signs here, 3 different types. Small, I know, but just to go round. They've got, it's all don't feed the pigeons, because that's the big issue at the moment. Some say they destroy our flower beds, which is very good, and leftover pigeon food attracts rats. So the other ones are just. So I'll put those up over the coming week down there. Then obviously we've got the other issue is the bench cleaning. So we now need to get a proper arrangement sorted out with a proper agreed volunteer. One that we all agreed on.
So how are we going to do that then?
And the other issue is a better cover for the Christmas tree hole, so we get that filled in. I think we was talking about
plastic. No, the plastic drying.
Was going to get it to and fill it.
Yeah.
But was it Pete or Ben who had an idea for that rather than fill it in and dig it
No,
out?
I said it. I said you get this plastic drying with the top, put it in the ground, cut it to suit, and then it looks like a drying. And all you do is take the middle out, put the tree in, job done. Christmas.
Yeah, there was an idea to put a fire thing there during the summer months and the tree in for Christmas.
A fire thing. Oh, you mean
yeah, a fire thing.
A fire thing.
Fire basket.
Beacon, yes. That's a further expense.
We've got a hole there
that
we can use.
But that would be a great idea for, when the country-wide celebrate royal stuff and whatever.
Might not be that long away.
True, yes. So that's a separate, I don't know, can we go out and get a quote for a beacon?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
we don't. You can do anything but beacons as far as I'm concerned. They're just like loads of money.
Well, when you're that chair.
And they get used only when a king dies or whatever. So I just don't go with it. Just anything but beacon.
Okay.
Access to one.
Okay, yes.
At the moment, it's a potential hazard, which we've got to address pretty quick.
Which bit?
The hazards on the trip hazards, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
the hole is a hazard.
As is the paving along the edge.
There's a little bit of edging, they're an urgency.
It's really important we get those done.
And Paul, you had an idea on that, didn't you?
On what?
On the, the
edging,
edging?
Yeah, well, I thought we could do that for a couple of £100, 250 quid. Just get some oil in, whack it down.
Get one.
If we cut the path where it's all jagged, we get like a disc cutter, run it down there so you've got a nice straight edge. Some type 1 wall in, whatever you call it, which is what we've used on that entrance. Put it down there, whack it down, some gravel.
Okay. If the stage where you can come up with some more.
If it works, doesn't it?
More.
I've got some of that stuff in my.
I mean that sounds sensible, but it's just want it to be properly documented and planned. What we're doing.
It would last.
Yeah.
It would last quite a while, to be fair,
I mean,
especially if you whack it down.
We just want action, really. And,
at the moment, having knocked in the large stakes that were there pretty much, it is still a trip hazard, and we could be potentially sued if something
I did talk
happened.
to Pete about it, and he sort of agreed with what I said. I'm pretty sure you could do it for 250 quid easy.
So do we have an okay to go?
Yeah, for those figures for doing that approach, which is worked out here, that approach seems to work. And it's not for me to decide, is it? Is everybody comfortable with that?
Second,
So I think unanimous that we are thinking.
As it's a health and safety issue.
Yeah, we do. We can't. Okay, anything more on that side of things?
The only other thing is how now we do go and recruit or do we talk to the eateries again, seeing if they can help with the cleaning? Which is to their benefit, isn't it? Exactly.
Well, Chair, the problem I have with stuff is that it seems to happen in an ad hoc way.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the working party was to be able to produce a proper, comprehensive, future way of ensuring that we get income as well as drain of cost.
Totally agree with you, Richard, but before we go and plan getting income, we've got to make it safe.
Safety.
Make it look a tad nicer
Safety is
to encourage the use thereof.
The first thing, but if we're starting to talk about eateries contributing towards the cost of cleaning down the tables, I think we ought to be discussing that in a different way, because eateries are also responsible for 90% of the litter which we pay for to be removed, which happens on the Staithe, and there was a commitment that, and an issue with the litter bins whereby rats and birds and what have you can get into them because they're the open litter bins, whereas the council did actually take measures on this very, very close by to the Staithe by having the bins which you close when you put your stuff in. So what I propose, well, I don't want to write the working party completions, but in the first instance, whether the council will be able to replace the bins that are there at the moment with closing bins, because we're paying the council to remove all this. That would be the first approach. Then I think we ought to be looking at some of the advertising revenue potential which could come from all these people having their blinking great signs there advertising all their foods, and we don't get any penny for it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that completely profit for it. This is, we may as well be supplying a blinking.
Well, Richard, wouldn't it be a start of that discussion if we just started talking to them about helping clean the tables? Get them involved a little bit, and then it go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Well, it's just that this is where the ad hoc thing comes, because then they may just feel, oh, we've done our bit then. We've got to go with a big ask.
I think the first thing you've got to do is be cooperative.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, is that we need the business to be more involved.
Having been at the Staithe recently, in mornings, when the bins are emptied, I don't know how careful they are, but there were chips everywhere from the bins being emptied. You can do what you like, but if the guy's emptying the bins, he's just going to drag the bags across the ground and rip open.
It may be because they're opening a door and they come through
I know,
like that.
but,
whereas those ones which are closed like that.
They've still got to get the bin out. They've still got to get the bag out. The problem is the bags, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the issue.
And if you, Andrew knows I go down there quite a lot. I was talking to Malcolm and I asked him about the rat problem. And he said, hand on heart, baby, he said, I've seen one for a long time. And that was what he said to me about 3 weeks ago. Now, they was living under the bins.
There's also the pigeon issue, isn't it, as well? There's chips everywhere, the pigeons are going to...
But the rat issue, he said he hasn't seen them. And he's down there, he's there all the time.
Cool. So we've got...
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go on...
Perhaps he sold them in the new chip fries he's got, but...
Okay, so we're not, we have got some ideas moving forward, but we don't need to speak. We will report, we need some sort of catching up. We need to stay with the group to actively.
So we get another meeting organised in the next week.
Okay.
That's a 2 week.
Okay. Try and move some of that stuff on.
They're all at the pet shop in Stalham.
So
did you see that on Facebook?
Okay, can we just
that's gross, isn't it?
Okay, I'm not going to talk more about removal of the trap. We already talked about that.
Yeah, I think
we've done that. Litter pick, good idea. Definitely, I'm sure she'll be leading on this now. But Alison, can you take the lead on this at all in terms of who and what we're going to do and when?
All I can say is I did have an email from Debs and she's very happy to put herself forward to work on this.
Do you need to link in with the twins or the brothers?
Yeah, but we do absolutely need to link in with what the good work that Pavement brothers do, and we don't to alienate them in any way, and we want to build, work with them to see that you guys, you know the village really well. Where is the need for some extra what we will provide, some extra bodies, and so on. So the Pavement brothers. So who
and Trevor as well.
Yeah, Trevor. I saw him today.
Yeah.
So are we asking Deb to lead on that still, or is anybody else?
I think so.
I think Deb was quite keen.
Yeah.
So we need to convey to Deb that we need to work with the Pavement brothers who do such sterling work in and around the village, and. It sort of varies to me the parts of the village that need doing. And quite often, you see quite often, for example, that you just drive out on the Stalham road and you see the verges. So one day they've really got loads of rubbish and dead animals. The next moment, I think the Pavement brothers been along there clean. It varies from day to day, but I suppose we need to fix a day, get volunteers involved. Announce it at the parish meeting day, etc.
Try and get McDonald's involved as well.
Yeah,
they could pay for something.
In other places, they do a lot. It's good for them. Good for them.
Who's the lady Alex used to see McDonald's? She used to see her about on the Staithe. Who's the lady name? The manager or something?
McDonald's are actually quite an enlightened
organisation. They used to go around collecting their own rubbish.
Yeah, they did have a. There was a bloke walking around, weren't there, John? There was a bloke who used to go around saving a precinct, kicking all their junk. I don't know where he's gone.
Okay, right. The conversation's gone a bit all over the place. James Dixon. I'm really sent a letter to you yet. You think fantastic.
Healthy food.
Right. We've done what we need to make it funny. So Deb wants to take this on. Full praise to her. And we all want to do it. It's just a matter of putting it together.
It's usually wants to do what you get back from the walk.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's bearing in mind I only get finished by 9. I think that's enough on.
So I just wanted to jump in there and say you said nothing else on HWRT because you'd explained that if we don't discuss anything now and plan for what we're going to do, we can't do anything for the next 4 weeks until the next meeting. So what would be our intention? What would be our next steps?
Can I just come in? I just want to say that the fact is it was removed. It's now in safekeeping, and I immediately on the day it was removed emailed the person I've been in contact with saying please get in touch with me to arrange to collect this, and nobody has been in touch with me yet. So until the owner or those taking responsibility for the truck get in touch, there's very little we can do.
Is that open-ended? How long do we give them?
Well, I don't know.
I did try, in the email that was shown on the screen just below, I did try to reach out to say could we have some sort of sensible dialogue with you guys to work out a way forward, but their reply to summarise it was that it's too late for that now, and we need to pursue you guys through monitoring officers and information commissions and so on. So they're on that sort of trajectory. I don't see, sadly, we're struggling to sort of find a middle ground there. So I don't know, in an ideal world, then the owner of that truck would have, we'd have facilitated that person to go and collect it, and that would have, that could have diffused things, and we could have moved forward in a way that's good for the village as well.
We're not planning any further actions for the next 4 weeks.
No, we're just making sure. Well, Alison's time is spent on responding to like SOI requests or subject access requests, and that sort of thing takes up all the time that Alison's had. I did try to reach out to have a meaningful discussion with these guys. I know you'd like to do it as well, Barry, but it's difficult to make much progress there.
Extremely. But the one thing I would like to do though is we still don't have an official contract between HCT, HVH for the use of the compound. I'd like to get that official.
Yeah, there is a draft agenda which Alison wants to check with you, which has about 4 or 5 things on it which are needing to be sorted. And one of the key items on that agenda, which we'd like to have, well, we could have it tonight, but I think we're all really knackered, but maybe in a few days, certainly by next week, we need to have that meeting.
Yeah.
So do you want to just quickly highlight, well, we'll do it later, but there is a agenda challenge, which, if you've been around today, I think Alison would try to check with you. She wants to check with you probably tomorrow morning, and then those things like making sure that the council is a responsible user of their compound out there and knows what it can do and what it has to pay.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's been left a bit like, the council will see the village hall right, but it isn't formally written down.
No, I'd like to get Sue involved in that as well.
Of course, that'd be really good. So we do want to do that, but we've just been a bit busy, sorry, and we will get there. Within the next week, we need to get that meeting sorted, and because we need to have all our ducks in a row by the time of the parish meeting day and so on. Okay?
Are we charging them for the removal of the truck? And for the time and everything? For the removal of the truck from the Staithe, are we charging them for that then? Because Alison and Ben
legally, it does sort of say that could be done, but I can't see that that's something that we want to be pursuing. We just want to have it back and use it sensibly, in like where the other trucks are by the Riverside, but not in a place which is sensitive that we want to use for other purposes.
Couldn't we offer to move it to a place where they want it put?
We have said that. I think that's what we've said all along, is that we would like, even now, we would help them carefully, we've got the ability to move it carefully to
I have location not unless they apologise on Facebook.
That's the trouble. It's become such a fractious thing between different people, and it's not the professional way for anybody to work, really, unfortunately. And it's just sad for the village that the village ends up losing out because the council's not able to be as expected it should be, because Alison will be spending all their time doing stuff in the background, and we will down the road be responding to the monitoring officer if they ever get in contact, etc., etc. So it's just not a good situation.
It's not efficient.
It's not a good use of anybody's time. It isn't professional.
And it's not. It's a cart.
So I personally think we talk about that enough. Really, I think we just move on.
John, make sure that we want to take any further action.
No, thanks for asking that, Barry. I honestly, we are in a way just responding to stuff that's coming at us now. I don't see we're taking any more action because we've done what we felt in the end we had to do. Unfortunately,
we did what we knew was good.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to get away from a situation where we were still having angry emails but not getting anywhere. We still have the angry emails, but at least we've made some progress, and hopefully we can somehow build onwards from this and get a better outcome in the end.
So just be clear, that nothing happens until they contact us to pick it up.
Well, nothing happens with the truck. We'll look after it.
Yeah.
We're quite precious actually. We hate it to be anything to happen to it. But that's it really.
And just to be fair, if anybody's listening anywhere, it is being watched by CCTV.
Yeah.
So it's monitored.
Yeah. I was a bit worried that somebody might, break in and do something like that.
We've got the CCTV.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I think we've moved on. We've done 15. We've done 16. We've done 17. Future projects we definitely want to do, but I don't know if we've got the will to do it tonight. If you've got something to show tonight, we
I
can
haven't updated it since I handed it out last time.
We are working at the background, it's a positive thing.
Yes.
We will have it available. It is important to manage our business that we do have those projects prioritised, and at the moment we've probably got more than we can chew on our plates. Sorry to mix metaphors there, than we could do with, but come May onwards, we need to be saying, well, these are the top 3 things that we want to focus our energies on, like stays and whatever. Okay?
Yeah. Do you want to pump that out to everybody, you think?
Yeah, it would be good. And perhaps with a comment from Alison saying that I know a bit able to, I think, by, I'm now in a position where we want to really move it real rather than doing something.
Pick the first three immediate and the first three longer term, or something like that.
Yeah. So I'll leave you to liaise with Alison. Right, I'm moving forward, trying to pick up pace. I think I'll be finished by 9. Planning application. Now, Dennis, I'm going to, although it's a little bit difficult for us to, we can listen to what you're saying, but we're going to have to be independent from you, Dennis. I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm going to leave to Rob, because I don't think we're that worried about that application.
The application itself wouldn't have any reason to object from the parish council point of view.
I realise that.
In terms of the sort of loss of community globally around it or traffic.
Yeah, I just couldn't make out from the drawings what was on there, whether there's a double skin there already and they're just going to build on the top of it. Or whether they're going to
seem to change the footprint or the overall
I don't think so. No, that was it. See, when they did the other extensions before, when we have these storms in your excess rain, the soakaways can't manage it. And the lady in 86, the other side, it cost her a lot of money sorting the drainage out in her back garden. I don't think it will affect this way at all.
Then the current and the proposed footprint is the same, so its total area won't be changed. So it captures the same amount of rainwater, if you like. Now the overall height wasn't changed, so I think it's fairly innocuous.
Yes, I mean, it's an intriguing thing, which is going back to the sewage issue and the flooding. If these people, putting on extensions like lots of conservatories, and mine was put on by the previous owner, they connect straight into the sewage works and not into the old soakaways. And I know that there's some definitely there that's still doing it. So every time this goes through, it's not this particular one, but there's others in there. It makes you wonder.
I think it's very likely this would say that the footprint stays the same.
Yeah, but I think Dennis probably ought to make the point that you do have those concerns that these these extra extensions are happening and it may not be keeping up to pace with the sewage, the water being discharged properly. And
nobody checks it except
it's still
planning officers.
So I think you should make that point, but I don't think, from our point of view, I don't think we're going to raise an objection on that.
I shan't object to it.
There's nothing to object to. It's quite
an objection on that. So, right, so I actually, we're on to finance, which is, there's some important stuff here because it's the year end. This is key that we do a proper process here. Do you want me to try and take you through?
Yes, nice seeing you. Thank you. Give it up to Judy. Yeah, give it up to Judy.
Okay, so there's 5 payments on that which we need to approve down the bottom. The rest of it is just noting at the top. So can I just propose that all those 5 items as a group are proposed? Can I have a seconder and just check it's unanimous, that nobody has any issues with those?
All pre-agreed, aren't
Payroll ones are pest control. I think you're right. Yeah, I think they're all pre-agreed. So that's that A done. I like the summary.
Do we know, sorry, just on the Millennium Festival, do we know from their invoice what they're actually doing?
They give us reports, don't they? I think they give us reports.
I saw it was quite brief then, but I can't remember.
They don't just send the invoice, they do say something.
We might be interested to find out exactly what they are doing, and whether they could do something else in regards to kitchen.
The next time that the invoice comes through, can you share it with Andrew and he can take that? Okay, income expenditure, I like the summary, Alison. That's neat. And what was even better is that C is that you have a bank reconciliation for the year end, which balances, which is an immense relief and is quite timely that you've been able to do that. So thank you for that. And you've had it. It's come round to everybody. You haven't all seen it. So I've just signed that as being okay with the year-end bank reconciliation. So that moves us forward in terms of the year-end accounts. So I'll move on to that. I don't know whether we need to, at some point, I'm not sure if tonight, at some point we need to talk about variances because we have to report on those to the external auditor. Are you ready to do that tonight? I mean, I know the bottom line is that, as we've all seen every month, is the changes in last year reflect the fact we adopted a different method of doing our grounds maintenance. So we spent a lot more on equipment, but we're less on maintenance, but we're going to make savings in future years. So that's the big picture on the variances. But did you? I haven't.
I haven't really got much to say about it.
So I think we've got those. When do you have to submit those to this then, or is that?
Oh, it's not till June. So
Okay, so we're well ahead of time on that. But Alison's already got reasons for variances. We have talked about them probably, I think, in the last meeting. I think we talked about the variances. So I think it's a case maybe of councillors are offline the next Zoom meeting. We go through those again, but I think we're fairly comfortable what the picture is. I'm sure at the March meeting we went through those same figures.
These are the big figures that you just mentioned, those projects.
Okay.
I'm sorry I keep going back, but back to the capital expenditure report.
Yeah.
Closing balance on the business current account was 1,156.
Yeah.
That's our starting balance for this month. Are we expecting?
Well,
the preset.
You get half the preset, so suddenly it will go the other way. But it was, in a way, it was finally judged not to go, to pay for payrolls, gliding, that's a controlled landing.
Just out of interest, what are savings accounts? Are they immediate access or are they month?
Immediate access, the transfer.
What's the APR on there about?
That's a good point. And I know Richard I want to say Richard when you bring it up, but that we have in the past been a bit slack in that reviewing where we put our money. I think we need to put some on a higher rate account, and that was particularly prompted by the fact that from April they're going to start charging us like £8 a month or something. They haven't now had free banking, but they're introducing a charge rate. So I think one of those projects needs to be to look where we could invest our money more wisely.
Okay.
And I think
I'd say.
Well, I'd say there are reputable people in our sector who provide a better rate of return. Can't remember the name, isn't it?
There's Unity Bank who specialises in just
Unity
houses.
Bank. We've actually had previous approval by this community council, as we are now, for opening up an account with the Unity.
For tonight, as I'm thinking of it, I don't know, it's just sprout out names of people. So what we need is Alison to come up with a way forward based on research that says this is a sensible place to be investing our money and also operating a more modern way of banking than Barclays is, because although we're just about to set up more people to be able to authorise payments, which is important. I'm sure there must be people like Unity who have accounts that operate in a more 21st century way.
They're charging as well.
Well, they're starting
to charge on the savings account.
No, that's on
the current account.
Okay, I'm going to cut that discussion.
I just want to say very quickly, because there are members of the public here, about the budget coming down so low. It's not, council accounts are not like commercial companies, because we work for a preset, which is taxpayers' money. You just get one income and you plan the budget for the year. So in a perfect world, it should say zero, but obviously that's a bit risky. Nobody comes down to zero. But the fact that they've come down to £1,100 is really good. It shows the budget was very accurate.
So we only just knocked about this. We do want to get you guys set up.
Yes.
We should have done this long ago. We need to get you set up to be able to authorise payments. And Alison, is there more work needed to make you the role?
No, I've got the forms. I've handed out the forms.
So everything's in hand, is what we're saying. Thank you. And I've signed the final form.
You get them via email as well. You could do the same for me as well.
Yes.
I think I've signed the final form. So we did agree to separate PO bonds. I think we have agreed in previous meetings to set up for Pete a fuel card It just floated that all by. I think we did agree that,
Oh,
and I will sign.
Yeah.
I will sign that in a minute
To sign
if I can produce it. And also an account for equipment purchases up to a modest amount. I think we agreed that if David was here, he'd be able to check that.
Need to get him AA or something.
Yeah,
membership as well.
We just got a breakdown summary, didn't we?
Yeah. Because he's afraid of taking the big one out.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he was supposed to check first, wasn't he?
We came up with £10 he reckoned it was.
Well, I think Rob came up with £10 a month.
What?
Rob came up with the figure £10
Yeah,
a month.
you can replace it.
But we need to see whether it's covered by the supplier of the machine, because he's just had a wheel replaced or wheel bearing or something replaced on it by them.
Yeah, it is still under guarantee.
Yeah. So
it's
you should just be able to call them.
But you want the roadside
Okay, so the things which I think we agreed, if David was here, he'd be talking knowledgeably about these. But there's things which what I've just mentioned, you would be happy for me to sign. If Alison produces forms, I will sign to do those things I've just talked about. So moving on, local government pension scheme rate has actually gone down a little bit, which is good, from 22.5 to 19.5 employer contribution. And then the final one is we want to automate the process whereby Pete's pension contributions to this happen automatically rather than at the moment having to be done by a route that I won't even describe. But we need to set up a professional way for that to be done. And so I'm just going to look around the room and everybody's happy with that. I think everybody's nice and place.
Makes sense, yeah.
Anyway,
Well, it does to an extent, because is this about professionalism or something, that you can't be on a local government pension scheme if you work in as a groundsman, if you're doing grounds work?
It's just the package.
Why can't you be on that?
Because it's the package we offered.
Yeah.
Was for him to be on a nest scheme, and I think the discussion would have been that we can pay you a higher hourly rate, but we can't then afford a high pension. If you want to say, increase, put him onto. So I don't want to talk about this because
no, it's not talking about it.
No, it's just a point I make. Just we need to come back to it at some point in the future. But we do want to be fair to everybody, and especially Pete.
Because he's manual work.
Yeah. Right, so outcomes for street repairs. I think we talked about that. Or there's anything more?
Yeah.
This is street lights.
Street lights. Andrew,
yeah, the ones I've reported, other than the latest one, have all been done. So it's the latest one that's in Tunstead Road, apparently it's reported to NNDC incorrectly because it's not an Amy issues. And that's gone over to Cousins, so hopefully we'll get them looking into it and fixing it. I've asked the lady, or it was a lady, if it's not done quickly to come back.
She replied and said thank you very much, it was done really promptly, so she was very sweet.
Good, well done. Just 2 minutes. And thanks for being the sorter-outer of things and street lights. Yes. Okay. So, yes, the 22, just note, we've got our ADAR forms for doing year end, so that'll be something that will come up in the next couple of meetings, I should think, to get that sorted. We had an email about a festival of volunteering that I don't think anybody had the time or the capacity to go to, but it was there if anybody wanted to go to it. And we had a written email from Norfolk Ramblers, which we sort of came back with. I don't think footpaths, although they are important, they're not quite as important to us as they are to some parish communities. So I think we sort of nominated a name as a contact, but we haven't sort of said we want to do audits or whatever of footpaths, but we will.
But when you looked at that map, there was only about 3 on there.
It's not a big thing. For some villages it'll be, they're reason literally, but for us it's...
I still don't understand that one at the back of Grange Close, it goes absolutely nowhere.
No.
Just to a big field.
Okay. But we have dipped into the country with major plans and so on, so...
Is there someone nominated?
Yeah, who was nominated?
You. Somebody, don't think it was me.
You know so much about footpaths already, Chair.
Yeah, I do the Israeli walking group, so I'm happy to do it. Particularly,
we have got an issue which is coming through from the neighbouring plan as well, haven't we, Paul? Can you say about the issue, please?
No, it's too late now. Let's pick up in terms of revisions to neighbourhood plan that we may.
It links in with the gambling thing.
Okay, I will be that person who is the link person with the numbers. Okay, so where are we? So 22, just to mention that Alison's time is being taken up, or will be taken up, with dealing with some quite complex and time-consuming sort of subject access requests or FOI requests.
Yeah, one of the people concerned asked that it be a subject access request, so it would be much more discretion.
How many hours have we spent in total on these this year?
Well, I have kept a record, and so far I think it's only about 3 or 4, but I haven't actually started. This is all just looking at now.
Because of, I mean, I think there is work to do. It has to be started before the 20 days, because you've obviously got to go around and ask councillors to trawl through letterboxes and things, but it will inevitably have to be a little bit back-ended to the 20 days, because that, at the moment, Alison's up to her eyeballs, it's in year end and so on, so it's about a matter of juggling, but trying to hit the deadlines, which will probably need a little extra work done at some point.
I've been in touch with the Information Commission's office, and I've got templates and information about each step I need to take to respond.
Because this is the second SAR, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it this?
I believe there's one
Yeah,
that
maybe
we dealt
something.
with last year.
Same subject?
I think it's
No.
different.
No, it's different, but we will deal with it professionally.
Will we charge for Alison's time?
There is a strict criteria, and if it takes me more than 18 hours, then I can charge £450.
Excellent.
I thought we did have
You have to let me know.
I thought were we talking about the neighbourhood plan one, or is that?
There's two.
Yeah, there is two open.
I don't want to talk too much about it. One's the neighbourhood plan, and one's to do with.
Yeah. Or if it looks like it's not, I would then have to go to the people and say that this is all you can do in the time, otherwise you're going to pay.
Thank you. Okay, but we will do it professionally when we get a chance, or when Alison has the capacity, and we must all try and help with it. If you ask for something to be done, we've all got to do it properly and properly do it as well. So. Okay, so 22 is a footpath concern. I just can't. Somebody thought was a digger digging up the footpath. I don't think it actually was in the end, but I think we'll move on from that one. 23, annual parish meeting, it's part of the activities for the 25th of April.
There was a last minute comment about yellow lines that going to close.
Yeah, I think I tried to link that back to the earlier item we did on highway yellow lines, so I think we dealt with that. Annual parish meeting on the 25th, and then the annual meeting of the council is on the 11th of May, so that'll be the time when we can review our things annually and plan ahead for next year. So
that first meeting with the furniture.
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be nice. So we're actually 5 minutes ahead of myself and Co's. Well done everybody. Thank you members of the public for being so patient and well-behaved and all this. So I'm concerned about certain things being just really like it's been a well-behaved meeting, so thank you very much. And meeting closed at 8:55. And so we might have thought about having a trustee meeting, but I think it needs Alison to speak to Barry first, and then probably do it for a few days time. So we do it properly rather than we need to break it. We need to get them programmed in the diary, like every other council meeting or whatever, something like that. And we need 4. Yeah, we need 4 legally in a year. Which one is the 18th one?
Just make sure that the open be recorded.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
When you say it's something you miss, because obviously you want to record it, email me and I'll
In the union for the town clerks.
The union? Yeah. Yes, I am.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Jess Smith Wilkins. I'm with them. How are you? Yeah. No, I've been recording council meetings for the last 3 years, and after tonight it's like, get in there. But yes, good meeting. Thank you. Either. Thank you.
It's a separate thing on Facebook as well to mention it. Are you coming tomorrow, Sue?
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
You know the leaflets on the agenda?
Oh, right, yeah, I'll speak to you tomorrow.